Hello lovers, welcome back to another For the Marriage video. I am Laco Hanson, and if this is your first time here, welcome. Two, make sure you find that subscribe button below and click it over here at For the Marriage. Our mission is to provide positive content, services, and products that help marriages reconnect, thrive, and build fulfilling marriages worth having. So if you are looking for a positive marriage community like that, I highly encourage you to click the subscribe button below. Three, thank you so much for joining me in this video. For my old lovers, you know that it's always a pleasure to have you return. I have a great video for you all today, so let's go ahead and get into it. So in last week's video, I let you all know that this year on For the Marriage, we are going to be focusing on two things. We are going to be focusing on reconnecting and rekindling our marriage. That is going to be the main focus for the marriage. And then the second thing that we're going to be doing is looking at the behind the growth of For the Marriage as a business, as a small business. But for today's video, we are going to be deep diving into rekindling and reconnecting our marriage in the year of 2025. I think it's very important for us to understand what part or what stage we are in marriage, and also understand that if you are in the need of rekindling and reconnecting your marriage, it does not mean it's the end of the world, and it's good for you to be able to recognize what stage you currently are. So the first thing that we're going to look at this month, in the month of January, when it comes to rekindling and reconnecting our marriage, is really focusing on what went wrong. What made you all kind of draw apart? Where did the romance go? Like, why aren't you all connecting? It's very, very important for you to understand that. That way, moving forward, you can make the changes that are necessary to fix those issues. So in this video, I am going to give you all 4 examples of what went wrong in marriages through research that I did. So number 1 is going to be always that lack of communication. I feel like lack of communication is always like the umbrella of things that tend to go wrong in marriages, and it's also going to feed into the other 3 issues. So when you look at a lack of communication, you and your spouse may at some point have communicated well, you may have gotten to know each other really well, but at some point you stopped the communication was not strong. So if that is something that you all are experiencing in your marriage, I definitely would suggest you all finding ways to really pick up the communication or revive the communication within your marriage, because that in itself is very, very important. And some of the ways that you all can do that is, 1, you can ask questions. There's so many question cards out there that help you all to communicate and learn each other again. And I think that over this next year, I'm going to be talking a lot about those types of things, because it's very important for us to know the person that we are communicating with, even though it is our spouse and we think that we know them very well. Throughout our marriage, they change, we change, communication is going to change. So communication is always a factor when it comes to people not being connected or needing to rekindle their marriage. So number 2 is going to be a loss of romance and affection. Now, depending on who you are, you will say that romance and affection is very important in a marriage. And I too would agree with that. I think that once the romance and the affection leaves, then it becomes an issue where one spouse may want some affection and want to be romanced, and the other spouse is not giving. And that's it ties into another one that I was going to add, but I feel like these two go hand in hand. Another thing was a lack of being fulfilled within the marriage, right? So if that is your marriage, if you are having a lack of romance and affection in your marriage, you all have to come together and communicate and see what can we do so that both of our needs are being met. So that's a conversation on the couch, that's a conversation maybe over dinner or something like that, where you all can sit down and say, these are my wants and my desires for this marriage when it comes to romance and affection. How can we meet in the middle so that you're not over giving and I'm not under receiving, right? It's very, very important. Number 3 is going to be unresolved conflict, which I also think goes into having some level of resentment. when you look at your spouse and you are in disgust, or you feel that they are less than what they came into the marriage as, then there's some resentment that needs to be resolved, and some conflicts that need to be resolved. I've talked about this numerous times on this channel, where it's so important not to just sweep things under the rug. We have to make sure that we are addressing those big conflicts and those little conflicts head on, so that it does not go for a long time and then resentment is built up, and then now you all are not communicating, and then your romance and affection has also been affected by this as well. So number 4 is going to be a huge one. I think that this one plays a big part in why people lose connection and then also need to rekindle in their marriage, and that is going to be because of shifted priorities or a busy lifestyle, right? So you may have welcomed kids into your marriage, you may have a really busy work life, you may have friends and family who you are tending to, or you or one of your spouse may be going to school, and that has taken priority over the marriage. And I definitely know that if you are not being intentional and making sure your marriage is priority, then these things can easily make you all lose focus on your marriage and making you all remain connected and having that romance and those affections and things like that. So it's very important for us to pay attention to these 4 things. Number 1 being a lack of communication. Number 2 being a loss of romance and affection. Number 3 being unresolved conflict. And number 4 is going to be shifted priority or a busy lifestyle. So before I get out of here, I want to give you all, I guess, like a tip or some advice, or a recommendation. I'll give you all a recommendation. This is just a recommendation. If you are in the season of marriage where you need to rekindle and reconnect your marriage, I think that it's very important for us to be intentional with every day choosing to put our spouse as a priority, as the number 1 or number 2 priority in your life. And the reason why I say number 2, because I know some of you all may have a spiritual background and you may feel that your higher power, or whoever that is number 1, and then your spouse be number 2. But I definitely think it's important for us who are married to make sure that we're waking up each day and choosing our spouse to be that priority, and also they should be choosing us as a priority as well too. No matter what comes at our marriage, especially when it's these things, a lack of communication, loss of romance and affection, conflict, or shifted priorities, we are in control of fixing all of those things. We have control to say, what, today I'm going to choose my spouse. Today I'm going to recognize my spouse. Today I am going to speak to my spouse. Today we're going to communicate. I'm going to show affection. We're going to fix any conflict that comes to us, no matter if it takes 5 minutes or it takes 2 weeks to fix, but we are going to get to the bottom of this, and we're going to make sure our marriage is successful. And that's all that I want to wish and pray for you all, is that we continue to have positive, successful marriages out here, and that's going to look different for each and every one of you all. I hope that you all or someone out there was able to grab something from this video and apply it to their marriage if they are in the rekindling and reconnecting phase. I look forward to doing many more videos like this. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you share it with your other married couple, friends, and family members. And then if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment box below. And if you are looking for ways to rekindle and reconnect in your marriage, I have a website, forthemarriage.com, that has a lot of marriage goodies over there to help you all rekindle and reconnecting your marriage, whether it is some date night bags, mystery love bags that you all can purchase, or maybe you all just need some reminding stickers, or you want to give like a card and just remind your spouse that they are a priority in your life. Go ahead and look at forthemarriage.com. I will leave that information in the description box below, and go over and find all the marriage goodies that you need for your marriage. Until next time, lovers, let's continue to do marriage right. Bye-bye.